Good morning. This is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Hope you're having a good weekend. Thanks for sending me the tickers. I want to get straight to it. We're going to start with IBB and take a look, start long-term and zoom in from there. IBB is pretty unique, as you know. Let's look at the long-term chart here. It's pretty much the only market-based ETF that we follow that hasn't really tried to resume its uptrend so far in 2016. Doesn't mean it's not bullish overall, so let's look at that. This is all the data we have dating back to 2001, which is when the fund was incepted. Off the 2001 into about 2009, this area here is just a bunch of choppy mess. Not a lot to make from it. It seems like we're somewhere in the middle or deep into some other pattern that it's hard to say exactly where it is. We're not really going to concern ourselves with that. Obviously, the trend was up off the 2002 low, but then it just flattened out for several years. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Basically, where the yellow circle is here is where we're starting our analysis, because really that's all that's applicable to us. So that is where we begin. And if you start there and see what goes on off that 2008, early 2009 low, you see it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty bullish. Heading up, very trendy, unquestionably trendy, and where we've had us in the IBB progression of its pattern is in a large fourth wave off the 2015 high. And prior to that, this was really a relatively strong ETF that had really outperformed pretty much the entire rest of the market. You can see it went from 60 up to 400 over the course of like 6 years or something like that. So super strong, looked pretty healthy. Things have changed quite a bit since then, and it's pulled back off the 2015 high. Overall, this still looks trendy. It still looks like the trend is going to go up, but right now, obviously, it's in a funk. It's relatively weak. So let's zoom in and look at this pullback a little bit closer. So here's a look at the pullback. We've considered it a counter-trend pullback from the beginning. It looks like a counter-trend move. It doesn't look trendy. There's 3-wave moves in it, which tell us that it's a counter-trend move. So that's a good thing overall. The problem is it has been really relatively weak in 2016. It's barely been able to get off its low. It's had a stronger couple weeks or so here, but nevertheless, it's still just a choppy mess while most of the other ETFs we follow are going more northbound while this guy goes sideways. So it has been strong lately. Even so, there's not a real good reason to turn bullish on this yet. This looks like it's still in a chop, which means it's probably going to continue the pullback before it's over. The one thing that would change that is a move above 305. If it could get up there, then we would have to reconsider and say, okay, maybe a big low is in and maybe it too is resuming its uptrend as it appears everything else is right now. So that's the level to watch to the upside. As long as it's below that level, you really can't be bullish here until we start seeing something trendy to the upside, and that is not what this is right here. So I would still remain short-term bearish. I wouldn't really consider it a good shorting opportunity just because it is in a counter-trend move, and we try to avoid counter-trend positions. We try to keep our trades to things that are in trends, and this looks like a counter-trend move, so I wouldn't really consider shorting it personally just because there's better opportunities to short and go long right now, so I wouldn't really take that risk of getting involved into a counter-trend move. That's my stance, but let's zoom back out here. We expect the overall pullback to end somewhere above 200. Obviously, that would still be a huge drop, and it's pretty vague, but that's all we have for now. So basically, my recommendation is just let this pullback play out on its own. I wouldn't trade it just because it is a counter-trend move. And once it does finally start showing some strength, we can look for it to be trendy. We can look for it to get over that 305 level, and then we can start talking about trading it. In the meantime, I would just let it play out on its own, wait for the long-term uptrend to resume, and then we can get back in and look forward to more of this really strong strength. So hope that's helpful. I'll get your next one over to you shortly. Thanks.